Hello everyone and welcome to Chat with Nene Alice. If this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, you're most welcome. And viewers, today I want to tell you that we are chasing 1,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed, please hit the red button. Subscribing to this channel is free. And also don't forget to like, because when you like, you'll help grow my videos and also help to make it become popular. And also don't forget to send in your comments, because together we can all improve on this channel. And at the same time, don't forget to hit the bell button, because when you hit the bell button, you'll be the first person to know whenever I post any new video. Well, viewers, today we are going to continue with our normal conversation. And today we have Mary Patricia Bendu Kobba with us, who is a program specialist at the National Secretariat for the Reduction of Teenage Pregnancy and Child Marriage. We are here today to talk about teenage pregnancy. We all know that teenage pregnancy is a problem in Sierra Leone, and it's affecting our girls. And it's not only affecting their physical being, but it's affecting their health, it's affecting their social, economic, and political empowerment. And according to the DHS survey, between 35 to 36% of our girls aged between 15 to 19 years have begun childbearing. And so we want to have an in-depth conversation about that. That's why we have the program specialist here with us, Mary, who will give us, help us to dissect and to get deeper into the conversation. So Mary, you're most welcome to Chat with Nene Alice. Do you want to say a few words to viewers before we go into the conversation?
Thank you, Nene Alice, for the brief overview of teenage pregnancy. As she rightly said, I'm Patricia Bendu Kobba, seated within the National Secretariat for the Reduction of Teenage Pregnancy, coordinating the affairs of teenage pregnancy, child marriage across the country. I'm happy to be here, and I want to say a very big thank you to Nene for considering me to work with you on this topic, teenage pregnancy. Well, I am a committed child protection and program management specialist with diverse experiences in child protection, education, and gender. Currently, I'm seated within the National Secretariat for the Reduction of Teenage Pregnancy and Child Marriage, coordinating the affairs of teenage pregnancy and child marriage across the country. So I want to thank you all for listening.
Okay, so May, I just want to follow with talk. Waiting at the general view of teenage pregnancy in Sierra Leone, because it's done at a strategic position, so you get like a picture of how teenage pregnancy hits Sierra Leone.
Well, from the general view of teenage pregnancy in Sierra Leone, teenage pregnancy still continue to be a threat, even though diverse efforts don't make from the government institutions, INGOs, and UN agencies, but Sierra Leone still there at the high rates of teenage pregnancy. And according to the DHS report recently, it said we say 35 to 36% of girl pikin dem wey no reach for do mommy and daddy business yet don already begin get pikin dem. And for that, na a call for concern, because if girl pikin dem wey, if we educate them, there will be better people than our society, begin get ready at an early stage. I think say na call for concern for the nation, for the community, and even the family. So teenage pregnancy is still there on the increase, and it gets a negative effect on the family, on the pikin, and on the nation as a whole. So it's very critical that we start focusing on teenage pregnancy, how we go put mechanism in place and system for ensure that we really work together as a team. Because for reduced teenage pregnancy, we not for work in isolation. We need to work together as a team. We need to work together as community members. We need to work together even as peer educators for ensure that we help for reduce teenage pregnancy. Because it not for be an isolated effort, it for be integrated in all of the work where we do. Because for end teenage pregnancy, not to one person gets an effort from everybody for ensure say we reduce and the country.
Okay, thank you, Maggie, for that update. The other thing where I be one for ask you, what do you feel saying at the cause of teenage pregnancy in Sierra Leone?
Well, one of the major causes from my interaction with community members, interaction with teenage girls, most of them can say na poverty. Because for them, if they need certain things in terms of material or in terms of other things, resources, then can tend for like go out to man them, where maybe they can just use them and at the end something like unwanted pregnancy occur. Then the other causes of teenage pregnancy wey we can look at again are poor parenting. Because you know parenting gets a critical role for play in the life of them with girl pikin and boy pikin as a whole, because we not go talk about girl pikin, we left boy pikin because na them they cause the issue. So if as a parent you not monitor you pikin, or as a parent you not get that concern over you pikin will tend for go out and do something out of the way wey can lead to teenage pregnancy. And then some of the causes them na peer group pressure. Some girls, because maybe you don't see if pikin get iPhone, instead of one get this iPhone, you don't know how that income can get them, so it can tend like for go out of the way. And most times them man then can do things wey go lead to teenage pregnancy for the girl pikin. And another cause is again wey me feel say na the cause of teenage pregnancy na materialistic. Because if the pikin, the girl pikin, it gets materialism mean want in simple terms. You don't see this now, you come behind, you want her. You don't see this, you want her. You don't know how that you come they gets that particular thing, but because you want her, so that could lead to teenage pregnancy. Then even this issue about rape again can lead to teenage pregnancy, where solely not in the control of the girl pikin, where could be a victim of circumstance. Because maybe it go down there in a society or a community, this man don't see, and most of the time there rape cases the way they happen, not to people the way they far. Now people the way they sabi, now people the way they know, now people the way they interact with every now and then. So it can possible say that moment where they don't rape that pikin a day in a stage where na critical stage for get belle. So most of the time that again can lead to teenage pregnancy. So I think say plenty other things in the way they lead to teenage pregnancy, we are not only limited to this, but because of time, we go give that as a critical key factor.
Yes, and I'm glad the way maybe don't point out some of the things then where they lead to teenage pregnancy. Say one, sexual penetration and rape, and the other one get for do with materialism, where you want too much, where you the miller you come in your own property. The other one get for do with this bad poor where we poor Nasara new. And I'm glad the way you don't mention that then and again peer pressure, because most of the time we picking them can be influenced by them party them. So I hope say we they listen. Now we push the talk go before. So there points there where you don't give, you feel say it affect society.
Oh, it greatly affects society.
In which ways?
One of the ways where it affects society, as I rightly say in my introduction, when you don't educate girl pikin, you don't educate the nation, you don't educate her for the community, you don't educate her for the family as a whole. And most of the time, maybe now because we don't get radical inclusion, most of the time when they pikin they can get belle, then they drop out from school. Mm-hmm. And once they don't drop out from school, then your destiny, most of the time if you don't drop, because it not move further in the formal education system. And if picking for go school, it go to university level, it educated, it bring back na the society, it bring back na the community, it bring back na the family. But because the pikin we not allow the pikin, or the man they not allow the girl pikin for which that pick, then along the way it gets belle, they drop out and not they able to move further in academic. So that's not one of the issue. That's not one of the issue. Then I think the other issue again, as a result of I don't know, the vicious circle of poverty. For example, one of the factors of teenage pregnancy is poverty. then you poor, you mama poor, you papa poor, you sef dey within that society dey you poor, then you don can't get belle. Yeah, so when you don can't get belle, you no get the economic empowerment for take care of yourself, for take care of the pikin or even your family. So that will lead to vicious cycle of poverty. You dey see say the poverty dey go round, you no dey able to stop the poverty.
And then you dey suffer all the negative effects wey go with that one. I know, I understand wetin you dey
so that's a really critical again. You go see say most of the time, yes, we can always say salon we poor, but that's not one of the main critical and that's make in salon you get a separate secretariat where the government see say because of this thing alarming, because most of the things then what we can spend money on, even from INGOs or UN agencies, now as a result of them this teenage pregnancy. So if the government don't take that bold step for put a separate secretariat where already they monitor and coordinate the affairs of teenage pregnancy, I think say instead don't say until this stop, then we go move forward. But if this not stop, we go continue for there in the vicious circle of negative things there. And who side we for spend resources for take we further, we not go able to go further. We still dey continue for spend on things where like certain times we can able to change them. And the issue of teenage pregnancy, as we always say, not to one person. And most of the time, it's very critical again, Alice, for even like for the bring man there on board, because male engagement very critical. Most of the times, we can just focus on the girl picking them. Yes, now they most times can be the victim, but we need them man there where they need for be agents of change, and where go they lead for talk bots. Then can't see they how they talk bots because now they do the act. But if we left them out, we not bring them on board, we will still continue this same circle, and not will stop. So it's very critical for let we also they engage them.
Yes. So one of the critical things we maybe don't talk about here is say we for the bring man they on board in some of their conversation there, yeah. Because not only the girl picking no more this get belly. Now because he gets an intercourse with a man, we make he get pregnant. And when the man see say the pikin is small, he young, you know, go able for resistance, then he use them in the get belly. Okay, we dey push the talk go before. So you think say as a society, we get things that we can do for prevent this?
Yeah, as a society, we get things then. One of the way for prevent teenage pregnancy na positive parenting. I tell you earlier on in the introduction, say, and one of the key factors that way they lead to teenage pregnancy. Because we as a parent, not the play we own parts as parents. If you as a parent, they encourage positive parenting, and when you talk of positive parenting in a situation, you they get communication with your girl picking or your boy picking. When I talk about sex, because sex not so taboo, the picking need for no. The pikin need for know wetin na a bad touch and wetin na a good touch, and you as a parent need for monitor that pikin dey for ensure say e dey go the correct way. That's na one positive parenting. And the other thing again is that we need for extend the conversation with men and effective communication in relation to sex education. Let we talk to them about sex. For talk about sex, not for be taboo. The pikin need for know. And when you dey talk about sex, call things by their name. That's not the other one. Another one again is that we for talk to the pikin them for about family planning, especially the one that we don't begin get sex. The one that we don't begin get sex yet at all. You go talk to them about sex education, but you for tailor and you get age-appropriate messaging where you go use when are like abstinence. Because it not begin yet at all. The one we don't already begin, you go tell about abstinence, it not get for taker. So what you go do, you need for talk to them about family planning, the different family planning commodities then we available. And now my result don't run so easy. This one the way they can even call emergency contraceptive. If you not say you not save that moment the way you don't go do mommy and daddy business, you can use them so that you don't go get belle. seen again, we serve community members, the male and boys engagements. Then we serve organizations. We need for put two efforts together, because teenage pregnancy for reduce am not to one person o, and also even the girl pikin himself go able reduce am. Na that make most of the time make him always say a very critical for extend conversation on teenage pregnancy or issues wey dey affect girl pikin dem to man and boy pikin dem, because if dem begin take the bold step for begin change their attitude, how dem dey see the girl pikin, how dem dey see pikin dem and community, say this na my sister or this na my pikin. I think say a better for spend on the pikin for maybe for achieving in desired results wey go make am good for her in future than you as a man you contribute for maybe get belle, then that same day the pikin, it go be very difficult. Sometimes now it go better small this radical inclusion don come, because before this time one of the causes again this drop out, but now because radical inclusion dey, government say even if you get belle you for go school. But not so because government don say even if you get belle you for go school, you no go take certain things in place for prevent am. Because not to forget the pikin no more than the thing, child care is very very expensive, and as a school going girl or a boy, it not very good for you at an early stage for begin get pikin. It go continue the poverty na the family na the community, and it go even extend further for make the country continue for be poor, because poverty go become vicious circle, because plenty girl pikin dem dey born every year, and the amount of population dey increase na the country.
So Mary, I'm glad all this talk wey you don talk, and I hope say we young one dey lis ten to this kind talk here so that they go learn a lot. But I be just want to ask you, when you feel say that the right time for let somebody get pregnant?
Well, for me, from my own perspective and my own view, the right time for let somebody get pregnant, I feel say na the time that well, like you don't achieve your dream, then you don't get married. For me, that's not the right thing, because if you don't achieve your dream, you don't get pikin at that time, you dey able to take care of that pikin, you go able to take care of yourself, you no go further maybe like for take you pikin responsibility to other man wey maybe other man no go even able to shoulder that responsibility dey. So for me, for the right time for let you get belle, you for make sure say one, if I dey go school I for don dey at that level wey I know say me not to drop out again, or if na skill because not to school no more, e go possible say you no go school, you no fortunate, but you get skill wey you don learn, then you economically empower, because child care na money. However you look at it, child care na money. When you don get that pikin, you get for buy food, you get for take care of that pikin dey go sick, and plenty other things there. So if you no dey in that position for take care of that pikin in need, na that go lead to frustration from you the parents. You go be frustrated with even everybody around you. So it's very critical for take that into cognizance wey like you wan get pikin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mary. Mary don't tell me about teenage pregnancy, and you don't tell me say the right time for let you get pikin na when you don't achieve your dream. Wait, that's ending now you go be economically empowered for look after pikin. Okay, so I hope say we don't learn a lot from this conversation today, and I want to say thank you to Mary for taking time for come and talk to me. So viewers, if this is your first time tuning in to Chat with Nene Alice, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to send in your comments, because we can all improve this channel together. So have a pleasant day.